Welcome, you have reached Imperial Reviews, and today's review is BMF Season 4, Episode 4. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So, of course, starting off this episode is doing a flashback of Meech and Terry and Loco in their escapades or whatever you journey in Mexico. So they end up from last week. They was on the truck. They got to stop over to get some gas. They in this like local store getting some gas, and like the local cops pulling. And so like Loco was crazy. So he tells Meech and Terry to get down and lay low. Meanwhile, Loco runs up on the back of the cop and just start attacking him. And the other cop came in with the gun. Meech rushed him, and so they beat down the cops, tied him up, and put on handcuffs. And they shot at the ground, they didn't kill the cops. At least we don't think they did. Well, Meech did kill them. They just shot at the ground, make them dance. Terry came in. Terry's like, "Hey man, this is only going to make it more worse for us. Like, let's get out of here." And so it just showed them pull off in their vehicle and leave off, and then it flashed back to the beginning of the episode, present day. So from there, it had Meech talking to the girl Purdy, telling him and Duff that they could really put her on to something nice. And she's like, well, she basically showed me. And Meech was pretty much like, I gotta take a trip out to St. Louis, but when I get back, I'm gonna show you what it's hitting for. She was like, well, she wanted to go to the Source Awards, and this is Source Awards in '95. So we did a little time skip jump, because if we recall in season 3, I think we were like in '92. Where, because they was talking about the getting prepared. They was, where the that task force was created for the Olympics that was going to be in Atlanta in '92. So now we're at '95 because it's talking about the Source Awards. So we did a time jump. All right. So I guess we kind of knew that because the Mexico thing, but now we know for sure. If they're saying '95 Source Awards, and we know there was like a '92 with the Olympics, so we definitely know there was a time jump. So I guess they're going to start speeding the process up, because if you're already at season 4 now, this whole series is supposed to be over. But if let's just say they wanted to get rid of the BMF series and nothing happened between 50 and Meech, then you probably could say they could probably get like seven more, because they only in 90. They in '95. Then they got arrested in '05. It's still another 10-year span that you could cover of different things. They can still get like 3 more seasons out of this, to cover 10 more years. So nevertheless, you had Lucille talking about she need money. She's thinking about pawning the fur. Her girlfriend is in the fur, and she's speaking how she can get take money from Terry and Meech. So the girlfriend pretty much was like, and if welfare, Charles is in the house, so she can't get that. So the girlfriend pretty much tell her, well, you gotta lie, because Uncle Sam keeps secrets. Pretty much say you need to pawn that ring. So she laughed and giggled. Then it went to Mickey being tested by Terry, that whether he could really trust him and whether he was wearing a wire or not. Had him stripped, make sure he wasn't wearing a wire. And Terry's number one guy is always there. So he was there with him. He pretty much said, I got a task for you. I already knew what the task was. Basically, to follow. He said somebody I need. I don't know if they trustworthy, so I gotta make sure they good. So he put her to tell Markeisha, pretty much. So then it went to Bryant in Atlanta talking with the underground task force. And he's pretty much showing a picture of Duffy and Meech. And the guy was like, pretty much, yeah, I seen him. I told him by his alias name, pretty much said, guys like that, like spending a lot of money. You need to go find them at the strip clubs. He's pretty much like, you come with me? He was like, nah, I can't come with you because they know who I am. And if I show up, they know what type time it is. So he already encouraging Bryant to go to strip club. Then from there, it shows Meech, Terry, and Loco show up to the new headquarters, the new hub for St. Louis. And so we already know we got a problem with Meech's boy that he pretty much said he could trust. And he pretty much is a snake in the grass, but he does get the job done. So Loco pretty much said, asked Meech, does he trust him? Meech said, yeah. Loco pretty much said, well, I'm going to come with y'all. Meech was like, you don't need to. He said, nah, I'm going to come with y'all. And I'm going to just observe. So they go out and party. Loco's there. He can see right through my man is a snake. Loco just observing. And pretty much we seen the trailer where he told Loco, hey man, I don't want to move all of it. We could do a side deal without Meech. Now you know Loco's about loyalty. He's loyal to Meech. They just went through a whole journey in Mexico. So he ain't gonna befriend Meech for nothing. So you already know they gonna get him out of here or whatever. So in a real BMF story, you know their St. Louis connect is J-Bo. So we don't know which character is supposed to be J-Bo. I thought it was gonna be this character, but obviously this can't be J-Bo. And maybe J-Bo is gonna become the younger brother of him because the younger brother can't stand his older brother because he's always got him in the mix of everything, and he was supposed to be MLB prospect, but because his older brother, he got caught up in hand damage. And so they went out gambling that night. That's where Loco got to see him to observe, see what's going on. So Nikki now works at the restaurant, Terry's restaurant. And then one of Terry's goons, Worm, he sits him on the tail to bring Nikki home every day. So you know Nikki is older now. She's of age. And she in that stage of experiment. So instantly she started taking, or you already seen it coming. Like, oh, you just didn't know it was going to be this fast. She started taking a Worm. Worm finds out that Worm is at Wayne State. She's going to go to Morris Brown in Atlanta. So they connected and pretty much seen that he wasn't just like a street guy. He was paying for his school tuition. That's why he worked for Terry. But he really wanted more. She wanted more too. So he kept taking her home. Then T gets to talking to his baby mom and gave her a bag full of money. Pretty much said, I need you to hold this money for me. She said, I'll hold it for us. Because he pretty much looking at you the only one I could trust. He really can't trust Markeisha. And she do hair. Remember last episode she messed up Nikki hair. Nikki was upset, but she bounced back. She did her thing. But Nikki told her that she liked Worm, and she told her it's not a good idea. She pretty much like she grown. Nikki thinks she grown, so she's like, I do what I want to do. So then they had a scene, of course, when where Warren was supposed to pick up Nikki. They're at the diner by themselves, and he's smoking weed. She like, let me get a puff. She pretty much said some salacious words, and one thing led to another. He pretty much knocked Nikki down. So Nikki got scraped twice within the first 4 episodes. Then it shows Markeisha showing up to the jail to see Boom and confessing her love for him, and he confessed her love to her. And she still asked him about a plug. He pretty much said he don't got one and things too hot. Well, Isaac. So they need to fall back for a minute. Mickey and them seen her, so they know she couldn't be trusted. They said, well, Terry gonna be hurt. Then it showed Markeisha linking up with the cop. So that ain't a good look. So they like, damn, she all around the board. So they like, Terry not gonna like that. So then from there, it goes back to Purdy. Purdy in Atlanta. Meech comes back pretty much. No, it shows Purdy with her manager. Shows him choking out somebody. A radio head pretty much telling him that you make sure you get my song played on the radio. So once Purdy manager was trying to make a point choking out the radio, the radio personnel. He told Purdy pretty much, you're gonna be in a girl group. Nobody wants to see a solo artist. They looking for girl groups nowadays. And she was like, I already got a hit. They pretty much gonna be feeding off of me. So he snatched her up, told her this is pretty much what it is. She need to get with it. And she pretty much was like, do you got a bump for me? He was like, yeah. So it's really much alluding to where Meech and them think they got a gym. She pretty much a junkie. So then it goes back to St. Louis, and Terry pretty much telling Meech boy, listen, we need to make bygones be bygones, but there is a pecking order. There's a hierarchy, pretty much. We can't have that happen again. Meech pretty much said, I appreciate it. You saved us with the money and everything, but Terry, right, we still need you, stay in line. He pretty much said it won't happen again. But you already know he's a snake, so. So then it shows Charles was out on a date with the girl from Terry's restaurant. She was out on a date. As soon as she had the conversation and mentioned that she had an ex-husband or ex-boyfriend and he was following her and stuff like that, I said, oh, here we go. Sure enough, he pushed up. He said, he showed up, asked her who was this guy, and Charles pretty much told him chill. He pretty much rushed Charles, and Charles got that rumble on him, so we know where Meech get it from. And Charles whooped him, beat him down, and then she just looked like scared, frantic, and Charles had to catch himself. A dude was laid out. Later in the episode, it did show Charles get a call telling Lucille pretty much he gotta go back on the road in 2 months. And Lucille pretty much ain't have no more energy. She just was excited that he would leave so that she could get welfare. He pretty much called her out for that. So B Mickey got an envelope. It was from Lucille in the church. They gave him a few $100. Pretty much told him keep his faith. Told him it's not much, but hopefully it helps. Told him don't lose the faith. After he pulled that cake with Terry, Terry's number 2 gave him an envelope, big wad of money. He said, "Yeah, this said cover my daughter's surgery." So then I went back to St. Louis, and I think his name is B. Skrilla. I want to say his name B. Skrilla, Meech's homie, but I may be wrong. So nevertheless, they at the gambling spot. He pretty much was like, "Yeah, man, I don't know if you wanted me to talk while their uncle was around or whatever." And then Meech was like, "He cool, we just observing." And he pretty much was like, you know. Then it shows the brother, the younger brother, is drinking his life away. B. Skrilla is yanking him up, like pretty much telling him, "Look, man, you need to be cool." He's mad because he like, "I only got problems with people because of you." And he was saying like the brother had problems with the Moors. So we know the brother, one way or another, he gonna get killed. One way or another, B. Skrill is definitely gonna die, whether it's through Loco and them or through the Moors people. Somebody eventually gonna cancel his contract. Then Terry took the younger brother home, and they had a heart to heart because they the younger brothers. Terry got his eye shot out, and then he got his hand cut up, and then his younger brother was like, "Yo, Meech is the man," and he was pretty much, "Yeah, but you don't know him like I know him." So it just show you once again how Meech has an infectious personality and people draw to him. So from there, it shows Brian in the strip club. The girls is trying to dance on him, and he see Duff in his peripheral, but he don't really know it's him. But then Duff look see Brian. By the time Brian looked again, Duff was gone. So I guess eventually he gonna find Duff and apply the pressure. We gonna see what happened. I can't remember. Is Duff one of the ones who eventually give up information? I think he is. I'm not sure. So, but then it shows Meech and them getting ready for the Source Awards. His stylist, he's feeling her, pretty much telling her, um, pretty much telling her, "I want to get with you. She's right now. You and Big Meech roll. Holler at me when you just Demetrius." So, nevertheless, Meech and them, they end up to the Source Awards. They show Purdy hitting a bump right before they leave. So, she's a junkie. When they show the Source Awards, they show them a big, like, that was cool. Meech and them walking in the backstage. It showed them, like, the dressing rooms of Bones and Harmony, Outkast. It showed Meech and them walking past Biggie and Faith, and walking past Suge and that Fro. And it pretty much showed that he was saying the events that happened that night would lead to the deaths of two of hip hop's biggest artists, Biggie and Pop, pretty much. Then they showed backstage Purdy's manager approaching her. Meech was like, "Pretty much, we'll buy you out." He's like, "She ain't worth nothing anyway, pretty much. I see you the contract. Y'all just don't know what y'all got," because he knows she a junkie. She like that nose candy. So the episode pretty much end with B Skrilla trying to push up on Loco and them, pretty much saying Meech, you know, he got other things to do. He had to dip out of here, so he couldn't see y'all off. But I wanted to see y'all off. Y'all need to do business with me. And Loco's henchmen pretty much said we'll be in touch. They're gonna set that Joker up. That was pretty much the episode. Not much to it. But push the story forward. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Until next time.